Welcome to the inaugural episode of Talk Crit Get Hit, as it says above some of us. We're just gonna shoot this shit for like half hour to an hour. I guess as it is appropriate, let's go through and do some quick introductions. People already know our names because I put it on the fucking template, but people might want to know where they can get more of your content if you're a content creator. I'll go first because it's my fucking channel. I'm Chuck. This is Defenders of Kobold. All of these people are wonderful, and if you follow us on YouTube, subscribe, follow us up on Twitch, you can catch more of the stuff that they're in as I trick them all into playing games with me. That's it. Friendon, take it away.
Hi, my name's Ray Friendon. You can find me as Friendon everywhere. If you call me Ray, I probably will not respond because no one does. And I just draw stuff for a living. A lot of stuff for tabletop RPGs, and I play with these fine folks.
Cool. Jeff.
Hey, I'm Jeff. So I do kind of the same stuff the Kobolds do. We just do adventures and lollygagging. So we play some games on stream. And we also have a podcast. So just search for Adventures in Lollygagging, and you'll find plenty of stuff. Chuck's in some of those games. So is Dan. So we play some fun games together. So good times.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Jen.
Hi, my name is Jen. I work currently at Riot Games, but I can't nerf any champions or agents, so don't ask me to. I do learning and development, which means I like to learn stuff. I can't buff any either. I'm sorry. Can't buff Aurelia. Been trying for 7 years. I play a ton of TTRPGs. This is my first actual experience in MCC universe. The one we did on Saturday was kind of like light, and this was my first time using Roll20, which was very interesting.
Yes.
I'm also I forgot to mention I'm a defender of Kobold now. I forgot about that. So.
In a drunken decision.
Oh no!
I promoted people.
You're always welcome to go back. You're always welcome to roll that back.
Just benighted a third of the people play, or more.
Always welcome to roll it back if you feel like you made a bad decision.
Listen, I think despite my inebriated state, it was a good decision.
Let's hope so.
So for now,
it made me happy.
Yeah, and that's what I do. I live my life to make Friendon happy.
It's a good relationship. It's worked out well for me.
There you go. Jeremy.
Yeah, I'm from Grim Perilous. I work on a lot of this Zweihander stuff. If you want to see people play it right, the Lollygaggers and the Kobolds do it every week. So they're just the fucking best. And more than that, they're willing to take on my nonsense, and I leech on like a parasite for any game they'll do.
We'll nurture that parasite.
The best people.
100%.
We need it.
We need it. Let's see. I guess Dan, you're up next.
Yeah, it's me, Dan. I'm with Defenders.
Yeah.
And I get to play with everybody here and have a good time.
And last but not least,
I'm Tyler. I'm also a Defender. I play with them in the Zweihander actual play on every other Friday. DCC funnel that Joe's running us through right now, and whatever other random stuff Chuck throws at me.
True dat. All right, so introduction are out of the way. We can stop talking about that shit. We can start talking about what we just did, Mutant Crawl Classics. First off, what's your guys' opinion on that adventure?
This is actually my second time
It
playing
is
this adventure.
yours and Friendon's second time playing that adventure.
Yeah.
It's pretty forgiving for a funnel. To be
Yeah, it
completely
was
honest.
less terrifying than I thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they do it right, though, because they set the tone very early by immediately killing a character, so that way you know it's lethal,
Yeah.
without making it brutal the whole time. Because a lot of the DCC funnels try to be brutal to let you know this is a system to not get attached to your characters, right? But they do that here without making it so punitive that you end up with no character.
Like, I don't know, have any of you here, I know Dan and Tyler, have you played through Portal Under the Stars, the funnel in the back of the DCC core rulebook?
That
It
thing's
is
brutal.
it is not a fun adventure.
after playing Portal Under the Stars, I thought I never wanted to touch DCC again, and now I'm in like
Wow.
3 different DCC games.
But
Yeah.
that said, Sailors of the Starless Sea,
That is
But-
amazing.
Better.
it's really good funnel, but it's a little too long though. It's like a 2-session funnel.
It is.
So it's kind of like this weird thing where the perfect funnel for DCC is too long. Unfortunately, this
Yeah.
one's good. This MCC one's good.
This is a good one. They served Brandolin Red can fit into a single session. It is not as good as Sailors on the Starless Sea.
Gotcha.
And
Better
then
than Portal Under the.
Hole in the Sky is another one, and it's pretty good.
It's got a lot of fuck you things though.
It does, but the problem is when we ran it through on stream, we ran it through as a level 1 and not
Yeah.
as a funnel, and that really kind of fucked things over because there were supposed to be some real fuck you moments,
Gotcha.
but there was supposed to be a cushion of characters to kind of
yeah.
make that a little less intense.
I do hear that the rest of the Halloween modules, like what is it, Creep, Scrag, Keep, or
Yeah.
something like that. There's like 3 more. They're all supposed to be. I think they're all by the same creative team,
Yeah,
and they would be sequential like adventures if they weren't just part of a Halloween line.
yeah.
And they're all supposed to be pretty dang good. So I've been wanting to
Okay.
check the rest of those out
Yeah.
too.
So yeah. Anyway, yeah. How did you all feel? Like, did it meet your expectations of a funnel?
I don't know what I expected except to die, and that didn't happen till the end. So my expectations were fulfilled.
There you go.
The box is checked.
Boxes checked.
Yeah, even having played it the second time, like the encounters are organic enough where even if a couple people know it's going to happen, a couple people that don't could push you in a different direction, right? And it still felt pretty fresh. Like that's pretty telling if something you've done already can still feel fun and new,
Yeah.
right?
So let me kind of walk you through some of the things that I did change. And Matt kind of made the same decisions when he ran us through at Friendon.
Okay.
The first off is there's the 2 paths off the mesa, right? Path number 1 is the trail itself, and the other one is the wing people. The way it's supposed to work, the wing people gives you the bat encounter, and the trail gives you the tree gun people encounter. But that tree gun person encounter is just so damn fun. Like 2 fucking trees with guns hop out and try and mug you.
I mean, who doesn't want to play that?
Yeah.
And since we
honest.
were, yeah,
And it doesn't add that much time to the adventure to add it. Like it would actually be a pretty short adventure if you only did one of those 2.
Right. What else did I change? Actually, I did make a mistake tonight. The first face creature, I used the wrong stats. I was using the tree stats. So that's why the other one was the manager, because I fucked up the first one.
I thought the time I played it before, that thing ate a couple people. I thought that
It
thing was
ate
pretty boss.
one person. It almost
person.
ate 2.
Eats people? Oh
It
my
eats
Yeah.
people.
God.
So the
It
way
does.
it works is it attacks you and it deals 1 damage.
He is
Then
hungry for people.
you need to make a strength save to keep from getting pulled
Truly.
into its mouth.
Hungry eyes.
Right,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
And then on your next turn, you need to make a strength save to break out. And if you don't, you are immediately consumed.
Ah, okay.
Wow.
So
Yeah, so it's like an instant character killer if you fail a save.
it actually
You have to
gives you
make
2
a couple
saves. So it's kind of for
Grinder.
yeah.
That's good though. I mean, working as intended.
Yeah.
I thought it took more work to kill him the first time that we played it, but I wasn't.
It did.
Complain that he
Yeah, it's because instead of giving him 38 hit points, I gave him like 12 or something like that, 16.
Okay.
So, what else? There's another thing I changed in this adventure, and Matt didn't put it in there. I haven't put it in there. I don't think I ever will, because it's borderline problematic.
Gotcha.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
So I'll just walk you through what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to be traveling, and this is supposed to happen after the shopping mall, but before you make it to the dirt. A giant scorpion hops out of the woods, and it's got like a human face and a couple human arms attached to it, and this big giant stinger tail. And it gets into a fight with you. And its goal is to sting everyone once, and then it runs away. Because what it's doing when it stings you is it is implanting its seed
Mm.
Doing the aliens thing.
So a couple hours later, every character who had this happen to them, they get to make a save. And if they fail that save, all of a sudden, all these boils start coming up on their skin. And little, they're like hybrid scorpion in that character. Little tiny baby scorpions start crawling out of these boils on the skin, dealing a lot of damage. And I'm like, that's fucked up and not a fun way. So I haven't ran it. I don't think I ever would.
That's probably the biggest, just straight up fuck you that is in the whole funnel.
Am I a bad person for wanting to play one of those hybrid scorpions? Though?
No, I think it would be fun to play one of
at all.
those.
Not at all.
Just not to be killed by them.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily kill you. It deals like 1d4 damage.
Yeah, but then when
Probably kills you.
Well, no, when the scorpions break out, it deals 1d4 damage.
Yeah.
So you take I think it's still just 1 point of damage from getting stung.
Yeah.
And then, an hour or so later, all these scorpions, you take another 1d4. So it probably will kill you, but it's not guaranteed.
So I actually kind of like the jokey suggestions that were going around, like you play as a scorpion. Like in a funnel, if you refilled your character by failing that original encounter and then a new one popping out that was some crazy Mutant Crawl Classics character,
Yeah.
that would be fantastic. Like roll your new guy, that would be great.
Yeah, your new dude is a scorpion human hybrid.
yeah,
Yeah,
there is some kind of nice organic appeal to that.
yeah.
Is it
Like
like
the-
a mermaid approach where half of it is human and half of it is scorpion? And follow-up question, which half is which?
Well, let me.
Like a centaur sort of thing, except with scorpion bottom and human.
Yeah.
Human top, scorpion bottom makes the most sense. However,
Whatever. Yeah. Well,
however,
They don't. It doesn't show up real well. So
Oh, yeah,
you can
I
see
see.
yeah.
like scorpion, some human arms, human head sometimes. Like it's just mainly scorpion with a few human bits thrown in there.
Gotcha.
Just a little sprinkle of human.
Yeah.
A smatter of human matter.
Smatter. Oh my god.
Oh my god. It's
the
like
name
you
of
said a
your
smatter, and
sex
everyone's
tape.
like, oh yeah, smatter. And like of human matter. Oh no.
No,
oh, no.
that-
Oh no.
You should know this about me by now.
Oh, no.
Listen, I do have to say that was the perfect setup for tonight's. That's the name of my sex tape.
Oh
Oh
man.
god.
Why must we
DNA
be
evidence was
punished?
recovered at the scene.
Oh my god. Just a smatter of it though.
I think I saw this on an episode of Forensic File.
Are we banned yet?
Yeah.
So I want to tell a story, but it's not related to D&D.
Go for it.
Okay, so my friend was a forensic biologist, and so
Did they tell
the
you
whole-
about smatters of human
the
matter?
whole smatters of human matter thing. She was actually called, and I'm so sorry for saying this. She was called Semen Girl because she was the person who took, out of a tub of semen, she would take a vial and then just squirt it onto a piece of clothing to put into the test
Sure.
rape kits so that
Yeah.
people could learn how to test them. And so they called her Semen Girl. And the thing that she always told me was, where did they get it? Because they never told her where they got it from. And that is the most terrifying thing in the world to me, is where that smatter of human matter originated from.
Just got a bucket of nut. Just
College students,
Oh,
they
no.
said $5 per
no.
donation.
College dropouts who try to donate to the
yeah.
semen bank.
But the
Oh,
question
my
is
goodness.
it has to be from the same person because they're all anyway. Forensics,
in order for
forensic
the
files.
test to be useful, it all has to match to something. So there's one dude who's just the king of. Wow, that's
Forensic
a,
Yeah.
biology school.
that's a job, I guess.
Gosh.
That
It's
is
that guy
Yeah.
who found out was the sperm donor for 60 something kids.
Oh my god.
That's a lot.
That's
Anyway.
a lot.
Anyway.
thank you for bringing the semen
Sorry.
girl into our
Sorry.
Mm.
cultural knowledge.
Don't apologize.
I'm so sorry.
As yes.
It's the lengths people go to. This is what some people experience in college.
Oh my gosh.
Sure.
It's the real college experience right there. Well, I was
Glad I
going
dropped
for
out.
Condensed into a really short period of time.
yeah, I was going for a master's in electric engineering, and then I found out the local Siemens bank just said like, "Hey, you, just move in."
And so about the human scorpion hybrid.
There we go. Back on track. Human scorpion hybrids.
Yes. Now listen, this doesn't have to stay on topic, so please
know.
take us the direction you want to go.
I think we should get back to human scorpion hybrids.
That's the safer
Actually, One thing I
conversation.
did want to talk about. So, one of my characters was named California Roll.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at pop culture, so I Google like famous blank in pop culture
Sure.
to create my names. So like that eagle, I've never watched fucking Darkwing Duck,
Okay.
but I Googled famous fictional eagles. It's like, okay, that sounds cool. I decided famous fictional crabs. I didn't want to be Mr. Krabs.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the fucking first website I clicked on, it was number 1 was Mr. Krabs, and number 2 was California Rolls. I said, fuck it, I'm California Roll now.
What is that from?
I don't know.
It's just talking about the sushi. I don't know
Oh.
why they listed that as a famous fictional crab.
Are
Listen.
California rolls vegetarian?
Yeah.
They're fake crab.
Crab.
Fake crab.
Oh,
They do
crap.
have fake
okay.
crab in them, so
Gotcha.
I do want to point it out there that California
That's what I was
rolls are the shittiest of all sushi.
Oh, you're not wrong. They're the basic white bitch sushi. No offense intended to anyone.
As someone that does
The only
enjoy,
basic white bitch in this channel right now.
Oh. She called you out.
wait,
Fuck.
you know what? I have to out myself. I enjoy pumpkin spice, and I will eat buffet style sushi. I do. Not
I am
care.
shocked. I am shocked.
I know
My
you've
first
never heard of
experience
that.
with sushi was on an airplane, and it was amazing.
I will put
Ah.
buffet
I'm
sushi
surprised
away
I
like a
didn't
trash
die.
can sometimes.
I'll
Me
eat.
too, Dan.
Yes!
There.
Yes, buffet
All right.
sushi. Oh my god.
Who won't eat buffet sushi?
That's a very good point.
Jeff, what's
I
your
mean-
take on buffet sushi?
I mean, you said I would. Hell no! Like, are you crazy? Like, you're asking for trouble. Like,
Oh, I'm sorry, little Lord Fauntleroy.
Listen, the nice
What you're
thing.
really saying is don't tempt me with a good time is whenever you see a sushi buffet, okay?
I just feel like sushi and buffet probably shouldn't be in the same sentence, like together ever.
No,
really.
No,
you know
they
what
shouldn't
shouldn't be in the
be.
same sentence is sushi is gas station sushi. I've had
Oh,
gas
God.
That's
station
true, too.
sushi before, and that was not a fun time. That was not a fun
Okay,
time.
I
Those
have-
are
Sounds like an
sushi isn't that bad.
abomination.
I feel like when you buy gas station sushi, I feel like you're forgetting the fact that there are other options there, and all of them are probably better than the sushi.
Listen,
So-
Gas station hot dogs are safer for you.
I
Yeah.
would take a gas station egg salad sandwich over gas station sushi.
I don't want any dairy
pretty
mayo.
low right there,
Yeah,
I would
that's
go hungry for a couple hours rather than eat gas station sushi. Like,
Man.
I'll be okay. Like, I feel like I'll be okay for a couple.
all right. So in Iceland, while you're doing like the ring road around it, the only thing you get to eat a lot of the time is gas station food. And
Is
what
it-
they go ahead.
I was saying, is it good gas station food, like a Quick Trip or something, or?
No, but not. It's not going to kill you like our gas station food, but it's not cuisine, right? But after like a couple weeks or longer, you're just so sick of fucking hot dogs that when you get back home, you're like, oh, Burger King, fine dining, anything other than a gas station hot dog.
That's great.
Gen fix ranked.
Yeah.
No Kraken. I will not fix ranked. I'm gonna keep you. I'm gonna actually move you to iron.
Oh wow.
Can you kick her to the cheaters queue? Them to the cheaters queue?
Oh my god, Kraken. I'm gonna give you the same advice I gave Jim. If you hate the game, uninstall.
Yeah. Well, that's me in Destiny. It's like
Also, this is what happens when you don't play with me. I told you. You go and you play this game without me. That's what occurs.
Yeah.
It's your own
My
fault.
fiance won't let me play ranked for a good reason.
Really?
I get way too fucking aggressive.
Okay. Are you talking about Valorant or are you talking about League?
Specifically League.
Okay. I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't play either of them
I don't hate the game.
because I basically don't play anything anymore.
And that is
Except for this.
We're Old Hour, where we talk about games that we wish we had time to play.
That's it. So,
Yeah.
salvaging this "we're old and don't play games" conversation.
Sure.
I don't know, Mutant Crawl Classics, right? It's fun. I don't know where I'm going with this. So if any of you want to bail
It's-
me out, you
Okay,
can.
so I'll say this is my, like I said, this is my first time actually playing MCC in like real form, because I think what we did on Saturday was more of a light version of it.
Yeah. I was
It's interesting
too drunk to do anything real.
Chuck's too drunk.
I thought that was wonderful though. Like, I gotta say, that was incredible. But I find it interesting because it's simpler, and I think that it runs that lovely line of like, don't get attached, therefore here's something that randomly generates your characters for you, and it changes the narrative. Whereas usually you build a character around who you want to role play, and instead you have to like take what you're dealt and create your role play out of it, which I didn't do a very good job of this time, and I'm going to do a better job of next time. But I think that's really interesting because, you know, systems are sometimes, like, depending on games you get into, you either get into, like, you know, Fight Fest or story time, and this kind of has that really good balance of the two. So
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. Like, I'm always going to love Pathfinder, like Mathfinder specifically, like, love that game so much. But it's complex and it's very difficult, and you have, like, 15 things affecting your status at any given time. This is very straightforward. So
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
Well, and speaking to that, like, there's an emergent narrative that happens when your characters die so quickly that someone just hands you a new plant and you have to come up with Breezy on the fly, right? Like, that's the sort of thing that doesn't happen in 5e. You've got a tome for your characters in 5e and you know who their cousins are by the time you're done.
Right.
Whereas in this, you kind of just have to roll with it. And I will say this though, Jen, when you rank up to level 1 and you start to get the mutations, the system remains light in terms of the mechanics, but the outcomes become very variable. And so something like casting a spell can have like 12 different outcomes per spell, and that's crazy and fun.
That's my favorite thing about 40K, which is why I want to play it. My coworker was actually in chat. He's the one who plays 40K and had the two PCs had like a date night where they tortured somebody for fun, which was like in game, not in real life.
Sure.
And it's very dark, but it has that same idea of like you roll, like you try to cast a spell, you tap into dark energy, you fail, and now your arm is a tentacle forever. There is no turning it back. Like, it's just a tentacle forever.
This has that, right?
Yep.
Awesome.
To some extent, yeah.
So we're going to show this. This is, what is this? Mental Blast. You're not going to be able to read it, and that's fine. This section, oh my gosh, get over here, hand. This
Sounds like you
section
need
here.
to cast Mage Hand, my friend.
This
the
is
outcome on
just
that?
spell. So what happens?
Critical fail.
You get the spell, and
Get
then
Mage middle finger.
it tells you the general what it does. You roll your manifestation. You roll a die, and it tells you when you cast this spell, this is what this spell looks like for you. So everyone could have the spell, and it would look different for everyone. And then when you cast a spell, it's D20 plus your level plus your whatever skill. And depending on how you roll, it tells you what the spell does. So if you roll a 14, you just do like a D6 damage. You roll like a 20, it's 3d6, and you have a bunch of other status effects. So the better you roll, the more
Roll a 32 and
effective.
the world collapses in on you.
Yeah, the
I'm
more.
very screwed. That's
Yeah.
gonna happen to me.
But yeah, it's like everyone's got all these mutations. Instead DCC, it's spells, and it casts different for everyone. It looks different for everyone, and depending on how well you roll, it behaves differently. And so it gets just fucking wild.
Well, and not only that, if you fuck up, if you roll a 1, it gets replaced by a defect.
Some of them do have it, where if you
Not all
roll
of
a
them.
really bad, Friendon, you can speak to this.
I think it's 1 through 3.
Yeah.
Is
Get
it?
a
Okay.
defect.
So I, during the middle of an adventure for level 1 characters, my poor dude rolled a defect while trying to cast a spell, which is like you crit fail. If you roll 1, you lose your spell. But you don't just lose it for the session, you lose it forever on that character. And in addition, you roll on a table where you gain a permanent defect to your character that could do something like lower your stats or alter the way that you would roleplay, because guess what? My guy lost half of his body vertically. And so he was a shambling, hopping, one action every other turn instead of every turn, just massive flesh that was basically useless. And I've seldom had more fun than when I'm playing MCC or DCC, and my character super duper becomes unviable. It's just great.
Yeah. It's fucking random.
I think my favorite character of the night was Greg.
Yes.
from my
Two.
team.
For sure.
Wait, Greg or
Greg.
Greg?
Greg, not Grog.
Greg.
Thanks.
He was my favorite character to play the whole night, despite
Yeah.
being dead for the whole night.
It was pretty good. Definitely good.
I feel like Brian was like he wasn't a sleeper hit because he was like right out of the gate. Everybody loved him.
Well,
Everyone
yeah.
was like, this rat, he's ours now, which I don't think happens very often, like in real life.
No.
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 Hey, we turned him into one cool dude. His little tiny denim jacket.
I like to think Brian was a cool dude to begin with, but
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you might be
Teaching how to
right.
smoke cigarettes.
I'm sorry. I'm having the pop brain again, and I just need to say he was radical.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Oh, no.
No. Is there a timeout corner that we can put you in?
We need a pun safe word.
Mute him for 5 minutes.
Time out.
Save us from this punishment.
That's great.
God. Oh no. Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
It keeps getting worse.
You're not sorry. You're not sorry. And
Don't
that's
tell
okay.
lies.
It's okay. You don't have to be sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, speaking of I love random character creation. Like before we stopped my last 5th ed campaign, I'm like, we're rolling stats 3d6 down the line.
Yep.
And those were our stats. You had to build a character around those stats. When we met Zweihander, it was like it's 100% random. Like, and it's fucking badass. Like, I have always randomly generated my characters, and they have always been so fun. Like, I had Kozel for a while, my forest hippie, and he's fucking legend. I've got my smuggler in Dustin's game right now. Fucking legend. Like, random character creation's where it's at.
Well, if you're point buying with a character that could be played in Adventurers League, you probably have the same half-orc barbarian build that somebody else does, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, your background might be different or something, and there's flavor you can do. But with this game, like, one of my worst characters survived, and I'm tempted to make that one of the two, because let's see how they roll on their hit die, and let's have some fun screwing up some mutations, right?
When Matt ran us through this, my 2 characters that survived were my mediocre character and my worst character. My 2 best characters bit the dust. And this is great. It's not what I expected, but it's fucking fun.
Yeah, I mean, good narrative is the unexpected, right?
Yeah.
You know, like, narrative twists exist in stories because otherwise you don't have a story. So the characters kind of generate those twists by not succeeding at every role in these systems, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely.
We didn't have much occasion for it tonight, but luck checks are one of my favorite parts about DCC as a whole.
Every game needs a luck check mechanic.
Yeah.
Especially like Grog getting snipped in half, stuff like that. It's such an opportunity for odd flavoring where you might not normally have something.
I don't mean to be too much of a sycophant, but from my experience over at the Zweihander side of things, I love seeing the luck check in this and your idea for using whatever your primary stat is and then using that to roll luck checks for Zweihander. Love it. I would absolutely want to keep using that.
Yeah. I mean,
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, it's just like we needed a luck check. Like, what can we use for our luck check? Oh, let's do our upbringing. Because when you roll your upbringing in Zweihander, it assigns a stat. And for the stat, the main purpose for upbringing is, that stat gives you half price when buying focuses.
Which most people don't do.
They're great. People should buy focuses.
They should, but most people don't.
They don't. But I'm like, okay, we can use that for your luck check, and it's just roll your percentile and get at or under your luck score, and you win or lose.
And even DCC has played with that mechanic a bit too, though, because in the Linkmar setting, there's something called fleeting luck.
Yeah.
Which does allow you a way to give almost like points of inspiration in 5e, except you grant the players a point of luck that expires at the end of the session. So you encourage people to beef those rolls up and play with that system more, right?
Yeah.
Is that the one where if you roll a crit fail, everybody loses all their fleeting?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so.
I
I
was
have the
watching
books.
somebody play with that, but I can't remember who now.
When we played the pirate funnel,
Oh, that might have
that
been
Christopher ran for us. He used
Gotcha.
that. So yeah, you roll a d20 or you roll a nat 20 on an attack roll. Everyone gets a point of fleeting luck. You roll a nat 1, everyone, or you critically fail, everyone loses a point of fleeting luck. So it kind of ebbs and flows depending on crits for the night. So it's kind of neat.
Yeah, I know a lot of the DCC old head judges are just adding fleeting luck to everything now that they play. Like it's a mechanic that everybody likes. So they're like, I don't care if we're playing MCC, we're going to use Lankmar's fleeting luck because it encourages people to please interact with that system, right?
Yeah. I need to read through it. I've got the Lankmar box set. I need to read through that and make sure I get that. Because, yeah, it's a great little thing.
It seems like it'd be something really easy to tack on, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
because there are definitely times where I don't feel like I want to use any luck because I only have 10 luck. If I get a negative luck modifier, one of my rolls is fucked. But if I have something like fleeting luck to play with, then
yeah.
So Chuck, isn't it where your modifier is always your modifier no matter how much luck you burn though?
Right. Well, when you generate your character, your level 0 luck is
That
always
stays the
count. That always stays the same. So
Okay.
your luck modifier will never change from what it is at level 0.
Okay.
So
Even if you spend luck. Yeah.
even if you spend luck, you burn luck, your luck modifier is always that starting one. That starting luck modifier. Yeah. We're probably about what I'm going to call maybe halfway on this. Talk about something else. What do you all want to talk about?
Such an open.
Yeah.
Wow.
We could pick a different game to talk about, a movie, maybe something stupid happening in the real world.
There's
Oh,
too many.
How
of
we
those.
all got really drunk last week.
We can talk about the Bourbon Brothers Club, which we are now the first 2 inductees into.
We are, yes.
Which was each of us drinking an entire bottle of bourbon during a session apiece. I did have a shot and a half left or 2, but I got there.
I mean, I think I've still got it in my...
I think
Here it is.
I want to see this first.
I think I'd probably die if I did that. I mean, just to be honest.
At the start of Saturday's stream, this still had the seal on it.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of Saturday's stream, it was completely empty.
Yeah.
So, I think that might be the topic: is drinking and tabletop RPGs, and like the tagline, "What is too much?"
This was too much.
We have the answer. Stream over.
Yeah. I can attest that amount of alcohol is definitely too much.
Yeah.
That being said, there's something to that though, beyond the joke. These are some of the few moments where you can sit down with friends and relax, and the world is crazy, and you get to escape. And I'm not a big drinker, but you know what? This seems like the time to do it sometimes. You're just relaxed, you're having fun, everyone's having a good time. Yeah, I guess that bottle of Knob Creek deserved to go straight into the trash for my desk, right? I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I still haven't had anything to drink since then, mainly because I'm still recovering. I am still in pain from, as my wife put it, loudly casting spells into the toilet. Because I was just yelling in that toilet for a while Sunday morning.
Did you crit fail any of those spells, or do you have any lasting
All of
corruption?
them. All of them. Oh my gosh.
It's escaping me right now, but there's totally a spell in Pathfinder that's like the words that you say are just so evil and hateful to somebody that it hurts them. I imagine that's what vomiting is like.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
it's just and then you cover them in your words, and yeah.
Psychic damage from your intended word vomit.
Yeah.
It's like a
Psychic
hashtag
damage.
cloud.
Because I'm covered in vomit and I need to change now, so I'm gonna roll 1d4 psychic damage.
Yeah.
Your opponent is out for 1d4 rounds while they go find a new pair of clothes.
Boren says there's never enough alcohol, and that he misses drinking with friends, which I
Yeah.
agree with.
I don't know. I've had some too much nights a few different times. So
I think everybody's been kind of taking turns lately. I think the state of the world is such where it's like, I'm not usually somebody who drinks an entire bottle of bourbon, but sure, yeah, okay, let's do this. I need an escape.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm still hurting. It's rough. There we go.
I gotta say, for as deep as you were into that alcohol, you ran the session very, very like coherently. I think you let me get away with some things a couple times, which I really appreciated, but also was like, you don't have to.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
You were being kind. I tried to grab a carrot and I rolled like a 9 instead of a 10. You were like, yeah, whatever, you fucking grab the carrot. And I'm like, perfect. I have a
The
carrot
winner
now.
winner chicken dinner.
Yeah,
Yes.
winner chicken
Yes.
dinner.
I will say this: you did a really good job. It's worth going back and watching. And anybody in chat that hasn't seen it, it is incredibly entertaining. And even though I embarrass myself in it, I'm willing to cop to
yeah.
it. But
I don't know if it's entertaining or if I'm just egotistical. Really,
Oh.
it's like
oh,
Listen, I
maybe
did
I
just.
like.
I've got the downloaded episode, all 7 hours of it.
Jesus Christ.
Because it was a normal 4 hours episode, and then you tacked on the MCC at the end, right?
It was a 3-hour Dark Trails episode, and then a couple hours of us just chatting for a while
and getting drunk.
and then me going, "Let's play a game," and it,
no one saying
For
no.
some reason, we all said yes.
and
Except
remember
for
getting
Christopher.
the-
Christopher opted out, and like I watched it. I finally saw. He very much so just wanted his character to be sitting in a corner eating an apple, and then he just left at one point.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Oh my
Also,
God.
I love as you're explaining that Chuck does not remember that happened.
I don't.
okay.
I know he was gone. I thought he dropped or something. I don't know.
I remember fighting zombies in a cave, and then I remember it was 5 in the morning and saying, "To hell with this."
Yep.
It was
That
rough.
It was the right kind of rough. It was good.
Y'all were so
Okay.
dumb. It was hilarious.
That's Vorin.
Boren's a good apple.
This checks out, though.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I did actually put the winner winner chicken dinner notes on our Patreon just
Okay.
this week. So
There you go.
Nice. Yeah, there's some really good off the cuff like dumb things that happen in games with y'all. Like I've played with y'all a few times now. I think it's like up to 4 or maybe 5.
Yeah.
And if you count offline stuff, it might be a little more with Matt. But that being said, like I played tabletop RPGs for a long time, and I've never had more fun than when I'm playing with y'all. Like Chuck is a great DM. The thing I like about Chuck is he's a harsh but fair DM. You do something stupid, you're gonna get called out on it. You do something good, you're gonna get the plaudits for it. Like your character does something cool, you avoided that encounter. He does something stupid, you're fucking dead because you're stupid, and that's fine with me. Like I made that choice, right?
there's never a missed opportunity for self-harm.
Yeah.
You're just describing my bio now. Did you go to my Twitter? Is that what happened?
On that, I'd like to bring up the Tomb of Thackalon the Undying. The
Oh god,
yeah, the
not that mess.
Dungeon Crawl Classics tournament adventure. It's a level 4 adventure.
I'd do it all again. I would do that
I would
entire
too.
dungeon again.
It is so fucking brutal. We played that with TT2KB, Grouch Couch with Liching Hour running it, and Dragons in the Dining Room. Is that their fucking name?
So,
Yeah. And I killed everyone on session 1. And it was very much because I
Sometimes
played
more
it
than once.
played it very much down the line.
Yeah.
And the party did accidentally kill the entire planet in session 1 as well,
Yes.
which was just fucking epic.
So
Was
I
that the
watched.
first thing of us you watched, Brendan?
It was the first thing I watched live. I watched some of your YouTube stuff from DCC. That's how I found y'all. But I did end up watching all of the tournament videos, and Chuck's adjudication of the tournament was like spot on. It was like no mercy. You're supposed to die. Get the points you can. What did you do? You just killed the entire planet in this encounter by fucking up that hard? It was so entertaining.
We should have gotten so much experience from that.
Yeah. It's a planet worth of characters.
Really, yeah. Yeah,
We should have been level 20.
I don't think you guys would get that experience.
What?
I think
the demon creature would get the
the
experience.
demon creature would get the experience.
Fine, I tried. I mean, not like he needed it.
Again, harsh but fair. Chuck adjudicating.
Yeah.
No, it's been great though. Like I love playing with y'all, and if anybody's into tabletop and comes to this channel, they're gonna see that and have a good time. I think, like, no matter what system y'all play, and you play a lot, which is also cool because there are a lot of people that like 5e but are sick of watching it or have other places they can watch it. I'd rather watch Pathfinder than 5e, and here you play things way more interesting and less likely to be seen than any of those two.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree. I've been a huge fan of seeing some of the DCC, MCC type stuff that Chuck and the Kobolds have been doing, and to throw some love over Jeff's way, Jeff's been doing a lot of like kind of British sort of style games, like between Heart and like Electric Bastion Land and some of that sort of stuff. Like just kind of feeling out those weird, different vibes of gaming has been really cool.
Heart's been wonderful.
So Jeff, have you come up with the final decision? Are we for our next game?
Vesson. Yeah.
There
I do Vesson. So I'm going from like the UK to like Sweden. So
we.
I
Okay.
don't know why I'm staying away from American games for some reason, but yeah.
Why not?
It's good.
What?
Have you played any like Years
No.
Zero games before?
I want to, but GenLab Alpha is the thing I'm interested in, and it's always out of print, and I don't want to spend $200 on it because I am a person that has to see that dumb bookshelf. I have to buy print, and I can't get it.
I run a GenLab Alpha game, so like,
Nice.
that's one of the
It's
games
pretty
we
cool.
run on the channel. I think we're about 12 episodes in, so it's amazing too. And it's not a lot of people look at it and they think, all right, it's just like furry mutant, people in the post-apocalyptic world, just furry mutant creatures, and like there's like a cutesy component to it, but like it's a super dark story. Like if you actually play like the Resistance story, like the full campaign that we're doing, like it's literally about like these animals that have been like captured and tested on and enslaved for like their entire existence.
Is GenLab Alpha
It's
the
just
Reclock 119 that we did?
No,
ran through?
that's Metamorphosis Alpha.
Okay.
No, so this is Mutant Year Zero. So there's like 4 different Mutant Year Zero campaigns that are
Okay.
5 if you count Great Death. So, but each one of them is like their own separate game. GenLab Alpha is the one with all the animal mutants and things. So
I've got the PDF for just the mutant one. Is that just Mutant Year Zero?
Mutant Year Zero is the first one. That's the Path to Eden or Road to Eden campaign, and that's so like each book is a different kind of a different species or a different faction. So the very first book is just human mutants. Second book was GenLab Alpha, which is animal mutants. Third book is robots. It's Mechatron, and then the fourth book is like pure blood humans. That's Elysium, and there's going to be another book coming down the line that I think we're going to space with that one. I'm not sure.
Oh, right.
Something like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never had so much fun playing a cleaning robot in my entire life.
Yeah.
Was that
Best thing.
Ma? What is that character's name?
Ma.
Yeah. That's great. One thing with your shit, I really liked Heart, but I liked the delves.
No, me too.
I need to find a way to strip the delve mechanics out and use it in other places.
So
No kidding.
I've watched your Heart streams, and as somebody that hasn't, maybe now that you are both here and I can ask this question because I've had it in my head while I've watched the streams, right? Is it feels almost like Darkest Dungeons, going into a dungeon and doing a thing. That being said, the stuff outside of it seems more nebulous. Well, how does the game structure the non-delving parts?
Okay, so the game. Okay, so the delve is like the primary. At least the way I've interpreted it, like delve is the primary mechanic because like it is, I think, artistically like the style of the art in the book, and I think there's a lot of overlap with that concept of the accruing of mental and physical stress and other types of stresses as you delve deeper and deeper into the horrors. And so I just want to do the delve stuff. There's delves and then there's landmarks. Landmarks are everything's underground and everything is like crazy and alien and nonsense and stuff. And you have these landmarks that are places of some semblance of stability. And then delves is just from moving one to the next. Like a landmark is just like any other. If you go to any other city or any other location, like a stable location in any other role-playing game, it's the same basic idea. There's NPCs around there. There's shops. There's adventures. You can easily run that. Like Heart just released Sanctum, which is like a supplement where the entire campaign design is no longer about purely delving and doing just endless exploration like we've been doing. And it's more about localizing the game to one specific landmark and then only doing your delves to sort of support the development of that landmark. So there's stuff there. like there's things like bonds, there's things called haunts. Haunts are like specific places in a landmark that allow you to heal up and stuff, but over the course of time you can like level them up if you're going back to the same landmark. So there's some structure there. We just didn't really do it too much. Like we just
delved and delved and delved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just like that's just kind of how it happened. We just
Well,
kept
the
delving.
delves are cool though.
Delves
Like
are
I
great.
get it. Yeah. Though the whole system seems really neat. It and like Morkborg is something else that I want to try because it's like OSR but with a little bit more structure that's a little more art punk and interesting. Because like I've got old school essentials, I've got basic fantasy RPG, I've got BX sitting back there on a shelf like the actual Mold Bay books, you know. Like I can play old D&D. The appeal isn't playing the old D&D. It's playing something that's simple like old D&D and empowers players to make decisions like old D&D. But these new systems, kind of like Morkborg and to a degree Heart, even though it's not structured like a 6-stat game, have that feel of old D&D, but are doing really exciting new things with it. Where it's like you're down on your luck, you're going into a dungeon or delve, you're trying to do something cool and come out. And I know that like sandboxy 5e stuff where you build your world for 10 years is super fun and interesting. But the thing that appeals to me even about DCC and these other systems like Morkborg or Black Hack or Knave or anything else is you go down, you get loot, you come out. It's Diablo the TTRPG, and there's a time for that, you know?
So Jeremy mentioned the other game that we've been starting up recently called Electric Bastion Land, and we've done one like 3.5-hour session, which was just like a one shot, and then we've now done like a part 1 of a second stuff that I wrote. Everything that you're like talking about, I think, speaks to that game because the entire game begins like you roll characters completely and utterly randomly. Like you roll your stats, and it's like the no mercy rule. You roll 3 stats, that's it, and then based upon the stats that you roll, you get like a random failed career. And there's no crazy abilities. There's like a couple small items here and there, and you got to be super creative with how you use them. And then the whole idea is that your group is in debt. So like your group is in debt, and it's in debt like 10,000 pounds or something like that to one specific faction based upon like the youngest person at the table and what they rolled, and it's just totally random. And then not only does that game like establish right off the bat the idea of you're going and trying to search for treasure to pay off your debt, but it also does like generation, the way it maps and generates the world you're in. Like there's ample instructions for how to kind of map and create landmarks and different places you want to explore. So you don't have to worry about like creating some sort of huge like 5-year-long world. And even the city of Bastion, where like most of the exploration takes place, like it specifically says there's no canon. Like there's no canon. Like this location isn't here, that location isn't there. It's whatever the hell you want it to be. It's like, yeah. So it's and it's got OSR components to it, but they keep calling it British OSR, which I'm not like horribly familiar with. I guess
Is that like some tunnels and trolls, like weird, like it's based on something else other than D&D OSR kind of thing?
I think that like the idea, the principles are just keep the mechanics out of the way and let players make choices and like be creative. Like the whole idea of like, this is what I want to do, and you tell me how to roll or what it is I need to do to do it. And like we don't concern ourselves with like 1,000 different skills or this huge giant grimoire or something like that.
Well, and that's the thing. I'm going to level with you. I have a DTRPG library that's bigger than my Steam library. I have a fucking game system problem, right? And the thing is, like, all of these OSR games, the appeal is exactly that. You don't have too many mechanics in the way of making a collaborative story together. And on top of it, you also don't have... that collaborative story is something that's unique because, like DCC, you're rolling a character pretty much down the line 3d6. They can suck, they can be amazing, and things just kind of happen. And we live in an era where most games are trying to make the player characters the hero, and sometimes I want to be the henchman with the limp that just fucking bites it in Act 2.
That's also I mean, we talked about Kingmaker.
Yeah.
I love it. It sounds very similar to what you were just talking about, Jeff, in that it's a very I call it a slice of life like TTRPG, where you just have a map, and yes, there are things that exist in the world, but this is like a small like village that's looking for their, like, somebody needs to grow up to be king. And it's the one system that I've played in where players don't necessarily play together, where like you don't have to play with somebody, because ultimately if you want to be the king and somebody else wants to be the king, you need to do things to raise your reputation. You need to be the one who's like more glorious, and it causes a little more competition. Definitely not something I recommend somebody who's new to like TTRPGs, because you don't want to be splitting the party. No. But I loved that, because it was like, okay, what quadrant do you want to search, and where do you want to go and explore today? And there was a day mechanic, and you had to go back to your hovel at night, or you had to find a place to stay. And I really liked that, but it was a totally different style of play. I need stuff that itches different styles of play.
For sure. It's interesting that you mentioned like you play in different spaces. Like we were talking about Mutant Year Zero a minute ago. Like in the instructions for Mutant Year Zero, in the very beginning, like one of the first things they tell you, like there's a couple different modes that you can play this as, and it's really kind of up to the group. Like you can literally play it as everyone's doing their own thing. So like the premise of Gen Lab Alpha is that there's like 8 different habitats based upon your animal, and in the actual rules, like it says you can just take turns. Like you can explore, and you don't have to be in a group. You don't have to do that. You're kind of have like the umbrella idea of you're all part of this resistance, but you don't necessarily have to be together. Like we still do that, and then we split it up and we have like solo scenes and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, like, with this scenes thing, which is really interesting, and one game that has really influenced me a lot lately is this game called Shinobagami, which just got translated into English, like, the last 6 months or so. But the premise of that game, and this was, like, a mind-blowing moment for us, because it's, like, you can play PvP, and, like, we've always played, like, we're part of the same team, right? But that game, like, literally is designed, the normal way to play is, like, frenemies. Like, everyone takes a turn. And so you take a turn, you establish your scene, and you try to do something. And those scenes could literally be dueling with other players, fighting other monsters, learning some other new clue. But like the whole time, it's like everyone's just taking a turn. There's never really moments where everyone's just sort of grouping together and doing one thing. And plus, every character has like their own personal objective that they're trying to accomplish. So it's a completely different way of playing than because we were like entrenched in like Starfinder and D&D for so long that like this was what the hell's this, but it was really good, and it's influenced a lot of the way like we've been playing games out there, like having moments where let's let characters actually develop their own personal objectives and personal missions and stuff like that.
That makes total sense. I kind of came at playing these games sideways. I didn't grow up in an area where people were playing them, even if I wanted to. There was no opportunity. For years I bought the books, and prior to the internet there was no good way. I lived in a rural community. There was nobody there. It's a town of 750. I was the D&D component in the community, right? And so I didn't get to play, but I read the books over and over again. And the first one I actually got to play was as an adult, like 5 years ago, was Dungeon World. And Powered by the Apocalypse games have some problems on the judges' side, in my opinion. They want this free-form narrative and player collaborative experience, kind of like the things you're talking about, where your objectives are your bonds or these things that individual players have. But they don't give the judge enough structure to really do much more than very surface-level things with them. And the thing I started to realize is these OSR games, or games like you're talking about, like these indie games that push in that direction, have kind of iterated on that Powered by the Apocalypse formula, where it's like, we want interesting things to happen with the players in these scenarios. So we're either going to take mechanics that are simple from OSR games, or we're going to write something that just goes for that from the start, instead of like Powered by the Apocalypse, where you've got like this weird hybrid of narrative system that's still trying to do something that's a little crunchy and kind of like ends up waffling in the middle somewhere. But the thing that taught me was that games can be more. And so now I'm taking that attitude from learning to play Powered by the Apocalypse stuff and finally getting to play the Grognard-based games that I've wanted to play forever. And I think it did end up helping in a weird way.
Right on. Like, it's interesting you mentioned Powered by the Apocalypse, because Heart is built out of that. Like, it is a PBTA game. And when you talk about like structure on the GM side, like one of the things, and Chuck and Dan know this, is like one of the things that they have to do as characters, they have to pick beats. And I really like this system. I'm not sure it's always the easiest, and Dan always waits the last minute to put his in. But with no, just bust your chops. But like the idea of beats is like really cool, because I think like the way it's described, the way they describe it is that it's like a way of the player communicating to the GM what they want to have happen to their character, and like getting that kind of info when you're the GM is great, because like
Yeah.
I don't really like just doing a whole, I don't like going into isolation, have my little intricate story, and then coming back and like, look what I did. Like, I don't like doing that anymore. I like, okay, I have some, some stuff over here that's going to surprise, and we're going to have fun. But it's also cool to see what people are doing. And some of those beats are really simple. It's just, take an injury, or some of them are crazy, So I like the beats from a GM perspective, just because it gives me some direction. So I don't know about player perspective.
I agree with that so much. I mean, I'm kind of derailing, but like, there's the superheroes game, Spectacular.
I was just thinking about that too.
Yeah, for sure.
The idea that not only you have your main story, yes, but each character can then say like, hey, here's something that's going on in this hero's life. Either something I'm working towards or something I'm struggling with. And given the player the chance to kind of interject that. You could have your main meta narrative, but give the player the chance to kind of interject, like, here's what's important to me. Here's what I'm really striving for. And it really creates this fun, wholesome medley to work with.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm always looking for, like, my GM style, and I've always, where I like to go to is I like to set up a scenario and just let the party just kind of flounder in it for a while until they can start building their own kind of story out of that. And games that kind of make that easier to do as a GM's fantastic. Like, give me structure to push out there, and then just enough structure so that way when we start figuring out what we want to do, I can then build whatever we need to build out of it. And I think beats are really great with that. Or you like the Spectaculars with its, it's fucking notebook of like, here's what happens in session 2.
Well, and those games do ask more of both the players and the GM to a degree, especially ones that haven't played those kinds of systems before that don't realize the structure is so much different. Like another game that reminds me of that, of Powered by the Apocalypse, and I guess by extension Heart, right, is Fate. And people that play Fate like it's D&D have a terrible time with it.
Yeah.
But people that understand it's scene-based, and you have to create aspects in every scene for both the players and the GMs to riff on, have a great time with it. It's almost like a pure Powered by the Apocalypse in a weird way. But the thing that it sounds like Heart is doing that's better than both Fate and like vanilla Powered by the Apocalypse, like Dungeon World type stuff, is by making the GM have those tools to push things along a little bit more. Like you were talking about on the GM side, you have all these things you can do. Whereas if we're in a lot of Powered by the Apocalypse, the GM just gets to react for the most part, right?
Right.
That's nice too.
There's a lot of just base reaction in Heart. Like, I mean, Heart, you don't, like, I don't, and this was one of the weirdest things. I'm like, I don't control my monsters. Like, you guys do that. And like, the only way they're ever going to hit you is if you guys fail when you try to attack them. And so then I have to narratively explain how that happens or something like that. Right. But for one of the main thing with Heart is that even though you're still having to piece together the story and stitch it together, like you're still getting hints at what people want and what they think their characters are doing and what you want to get out of them. Chuck and I just played Fate, like an aspect of Fate. Like we played like Shadowrun, like using a Fate system.
Yeah.
And I really liked it. Like
it was.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you like it?
I enjoyed it. I would like to go into it again now that I have a better understanding of what the system is like. I think we could have. It was fun. I really enjoyed it. I think we could have manipulated the system more to really let it shine.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Like to me, like the aspects thing was tough to like wrap my head around. It's like,
yeah.
Me too at first.
I need to figure out what an aspect is, because if I come up with an aspect, then I can. Now it's going to benefit me, but I don't want it to
leverage.
be like, yeah, exactly. But I want it to be like, it's not just a mechanical benefit though. It's like this is who my character is going to be now. Right?
It's narrative. Yeah.
So it's like that blend of the two, and there's like no real numbers associated with it necessarily, but having that, I think, gives hints to the GM and be like, okay, well, they're picking these as aspects. Well, I should design adventures that are going to then pull on those aspects.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because the thing that made Fate finally click for me was actually going and downloading all of the free mini settings that they have on DTRPG, because they have a bunch of books. One of them is actually a lot like MCC. It's basically Thundar flavored MCC, and I forget the name of it. I've got a printout of it back there. But those mini settings, because they're not using the standard Fate, which expects you to alter it. Fate does not want you to play with the core rulebook with the skills and things that it lists in there. It wants you to make your own thing. So seeing how other people did that made me start to understand how I could do that. And so I highly recommend picking those books up, because they are informative as hell. Like, I didn't understand Fate. I thought I did. And then I got those books and I was like, I was thinking about this all wrong. Like 100% wrong. And they're free.
Yeah. Maybe that's what we'll have to do. We'll have to get some Fate going on here at some point.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I'd do that.
All right. Well, we've been at this for a little over an hour now. What's up? Go ahead. I saw that hand
No,
go.
I was gonna say 5 hours. Almost 5 hours is how long we've been going. But then you said an hour, and I was like, oh, never.
Well, I was talking specifically about Talk Crit Get Hit.
I know.
But
I know.
yes, altogether, the official stream time, we are at 4 hours 50 minutes. So
Nice.
I think we should call it. This was a fun little chat. We should definitely do it some more. I'll probably also take our drunk section from Saturday, and I may put it out as a Patreon only version of that.
Nice.
And
That's fun.
I'll share the links with you all. So if you want to look at what we talked about when we were really drunk, but
Chuck, we should do a supercut that's a teaser on YouTube to get people to go to the Patreon.
oh, that's a good idea. That's just listen.
There was a lot of questionable things that happened in that chat.
That's another good
beforehand.
reason to make it Patreon only too.
Questionable things.
Some really sensual carrot eating and some very fancy dancing.
It was so. I think we're talking about before that happened.
Yes.
Listen.
There was.
As it stands to begin with, I've kind of got a shitty memory anyway. So I would
You need to
not
watch it
expect myself to remember anything that happened there. I fell off a bridge when I was a kid. I still have the fucking dent in my head from it.
No kidding.
So I attribute all of my memory issues to that.
I just assume it's because I'm old. That's usually.
No, listen.
Same.
I really, Dan will fucking vouch for it. I'll sit down at a session and I'm like, all right, you guys need to tell me what happened last session, because I don't remember a fucking thing.
Fortunately, I usually drink it away myself, so.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll have to rewatch that. And cutting it together as a teaser sounds good.
Could be your Twitch intro video, right?
Could be. Maybe that's it.
This is the Defenders of Cobalt. Like us at our worst.
Like us at our worst.
It
You
only
can't.
gets
Or
better.
If you can't take us at our worst, you don't deserve us at our best.
Yeah.
It only gets better, question mark.
Maybe.
Only gets better.
Question mark.
All right.
What is better?
Let's do a little
What is
sign
better?
off. I think we'll kick it to Jeff and I, because we've got Twitch channels to plug for the rest of the week. Jeff, what do you got going on?
Tomorrow night over on twitch.tv/ZweihanderRPG, we're continuing our Unsettled STEM game for Jeremy's Grim and Perilous game of Zweihander. So there's that. I don't think we're playing anything on our own channel this weekend because it's a holiday weekend, so but go subscribe anyway. Twitch.tv/TheLavaGeggers. Come watch Dan, Chuck, myself on Monday. We're gonna definitely totally finish hard.
Yes.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah,
Really gonna happen this time. Promise.
that's it.
We'll play more stuff after that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always something good. What do we got on Defenders? Defenders, we got Friday. Joe's game, The Hollow Throne. I know last time we got into a fist fight with a bunch of blind people and we won.
There was no cheating at all.
None at
Cheating
all.
in addition to the fact that they were blind, or
In addition to the fact that they were blind, we
Wow.
also cheated.
wow. Okay.
What else did we got? Nothing.
You
We
can't
don't-
accept us at our worst.
Yeah. That's it. Thursday, Brennan and I got a game on Thursday, but it's offline. Saturday's 4th of July, so we ain't don't have shit going there. I think Sunday we're playing Cortex.
I think we were. I mean, it's what we said a couple weeks ago, but
I'm still on for it.
I am too.
Still
That's
kind of
our
waiting on Bert.
Shadowrun.
Yeah, that's Shadowrun. That'll be over on Notorious DMG. So twitch.tv/Notorious DMG TV. And that's it. We got lots of shit all over the place. Yeah. Anything else the rest of you would like to plug? You can find Friendin everywhere as Friendin. Go buy his brush kits. That's great. Jeremy's with Grim and Perilous Studios. You can buy the books on Amazon, Drive-Thru RPG, your local game store. Go buy Zweihander, Dark Astral, Mangausch.
Zweihander's really dope. It's as dark as Grimdark gets, and like a modern version of all the things you like about 40K, but unique.
Yeah, that's super
I'm
great.
sold.
Super sold. Jeremy, are you in any games this week? Other than this one?
I mean, basically, are we doing anything this week?
After tonight, no, I don't think so. So,
I think I've become addicted to just signing on to anything you guys do.
that's fair. I
You
appreciate
are
it.
playing in that Vesson game, correct?
Oh my god, the basic.
Yeah,
Oh my
okay.
god, I
So-
wanted to be in the hard game. I wanted to be in the hard
I
game.
know.
Bad. It didn't work. But the next game, I'm gonna have.
I'm gonna run it again. Don't worry. I'll be running hard again. I don't know when, but I will.
So yeah. So we'll have to hammer out what your players are going to be, right? Because I definitely want in it, and Jeremy
One,
definitely wants in
two,
it.
Dan.
Dan, are you going to play in the Vesson game?
I'm tentatively yes. So
Okay. I think Joe is in the same boat. I don't know about Matt.
Okay.
And then if not, I know Bert had expressed interest in a Monday game.
Oh, that would be fucking awesome to get
Then-
Bird in it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Max is 6 though, because that would be intense otherwise.
Yeah, I dig
4
that.
and 6 is like, whew, I've done it.
And yeah, Jen, what was that game company you work for?
Riot Games.
Riot Games. You can contact Jen directly to buff or nerf your character things.
Champions or agents in Valorant or League of
Yeah,
Legends.
she is in charge of all of that.
I am. I am basically the CEO. That's
Yeah.
not true.
What she didn't tell you is her last name is actually Riot. She is
Riot,
Jen
yeah.
Riot. Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Jen Tendo is my middle name, and Riot is my last name. I just
That-
like to go my first and middle name.
Thanks for putting those pieces together. Thanks.
I hesitated to bring this up earlier, but I got beef with Riot.
The
Oh,
Tito
wow.
is because her uncle is Nintendo.
So okay, so
And I'm
if you
assuming
want,
you're a representative for the entire company, right?
if you want, we can talk about it. Maybe not on stream.
Oh no!
I would-
It's funny beef. It's funny beef.
Okay.
I'm just saying, Tom Kench.
Yeah.
Me and a couple friends, we submitted this champion an idea like a good 7 years ago for like a big frog who eats people and hops across the map. And we
Oh,
ribbit.
but
And
he's a
suddenly
cat. He's a catfish.
Tom Kench comes around. That's
He's a
interesting.
catfish. He's a cook.
Hmm,
He's a cook.
okay. All right.
We like to so I'll be real. We like to credit people when we can. Like for the most part, we weirdly credit people, but apparently we stole that from you. Also, just so
Oh no!
you know,
I don't even know if we technically ever submitted it. I think we just probably talked to ourselves about it.
oh my
but, like,
god.
No, he has beef with
God.
Admitting
himself.
that you were listening to it.
Oh my god. Yes,
Could
we're
be that.
always
I'm just
listening.
saying.
We're always listening.
That's not beef.
I mean-
That's imitation crab. That's
We
the call
might have
for
talked about
you.
it in chat. Taking our chat logs or something.
That's
Yeah,
it.
they've got that back door to your phone.
Uh-huh.
They're listening for your ideas.
All right. That's it. Let's fucking sign off. It was fun. We'll do this again. Thanks everyone for hanging out. I don't know. This is great. Until we see you again, please start fires, do drugs, and tip your fucking bartenders. Deuces.